Hey guys, Dark with Cyclone FPV. I actually started this video last night. I got halfway through it with the Skyzone goggles, and then I fell asleep. I got tired, so I need to go get some sleep. So I'm going to start it back up again. I'm not going to put this all back together, and I'll show you what I've got here. The reason I'm not going to put it is because where I'm at on the disassembly is pretty simple. So all I did at this point was, you have your fan cover here. I took the 4 screws off, which are sitting right here on my table. Okay, so I'm going to put these here. Sorry, those will go there. And then the fan just pulls off, right? So this is the fan. Now, one thing I did find is this is pretty weak. I did this twice now, and after you move this cable back and forth a couple times, the soldering point on this one is so bad that they just break. The wires break off. So I was pretty pissed about that, but that's nonetheless, this is where we're at this point. So I'm going to go ahead and continue now and take these apart. And here's the reason here's the reason this is even the reason I'm even doing this is because I had a customer send me his goggles yesterday, or they came in, and he said, hey, look, I've turned them on, and I hear the fan, but I get nothing. I was like, okay, I'll check them out. And then, now these are mine. And then I said, well, let me just see what's going on with mine the same way. And I don't have a fan plugged up, so I can't hear it. But I did the same thing. Let me get my power supply going here. So, oh, whoops, sorry. So I did the same thing on mine. And what I'll get is, I'll get that beep when you turn it on, but I have no power to my, I have no power at all to my setup. I mean, there's nothing. It's just, it doesn't light up. It just stays black. And it's not like a lit black. It's like never gets power. No backlight, no nothing black at all. So there's no power going to the board. So now mine are doing it. So now I've got 2 sets. So we're just going to go ahead and look at mine real quick. And I'm doing this so that Skyzone can see what we're doing here. And perhaps instead of us having to send these out, I'd like Skyzone to let us repair our own customers. Don't plug it in, please, because if you do that again, it's going to break it.
Sorry.
Holy crap. You okay?
Yeah.
Is my printer okay?
Yeah, your printer's fine.
God!
I tried to set.
Holy crap. All right, so we almost broke a few things. Thank you to my wife, Samantha, back there, who is in her destruction mode. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to put the screws out here. And this is the recommendation here for you guys. If you do take these apart, put the screws in order, obviously, so that you go back in reverse order. So there's 3 screws to take the shell off. And then once you get the shell off, you can opt to put in like a little credit card here and slide it across. I actually used a prop last night for the first set of goggles that I was doing, and they worked okay. Now, I don't know if I'll get lucky enough while I'm recording. But, oh yeah, there you go, see? You just use a prop, you get in there, and then it'll do a pretty good job on its own of separating. And then just come onto this side, do the same thing. Just open it up, stick a prop in there. You don't need a credit card. There you go. Okay, so there's our top plate, and I'm going to set that aside. And then you've got your buttons, which I'm going to put right here. Okay. All right. From here, the question is now where we're having this problem. So these are going to come off. This will come off. Under there is your power. Under here is your inputs and outputs for your audio and video. Obviously, your main board here. And underneath is your OLED board. All right. So what they're saying is, what was suggested to me is maybe there's a bad connection from the cable. Now, the cable is a pain. I will tell you that if you look at this metal piece here, this is the piece that goes on the end of the cable, right? It kind of, they come off, and that's what we experienced yesterday. So there is no doubt that we're going to need to replace the cable at some point. But as far as it affecting the connection right now, it seemed to snap in just fine. It's just, they're just weak. I mean, they're not stuck on there very good. I probably will try to stick that back on somehow. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and start taking these off. So again, we're just going to put these in order with the boards. Sometimes, you know what, maybe different this time, what I'll do is I'll actually put a baggie with these, because I did notice that these screws are really small, and I don't want to get them mixed. So let me just do that right now. So I'm going to take this baggie, put these screws and this board in. All right, there we go. There, okay. And we'll do this the whole way, and I guess maybe I'd recommend you guys do this better, or do it this way, because it is a little bit of a pain to keep track of all these. All right, especially because you want to make sure you put the same screws back in properly. So, all right, here we go. Do the next one here. Get another bag. And I will show you, this is what I'm talking about. This is not the cable in mine, this is a cable in a different one, but you can see the metal piece on the back. See how it's right here? But it's not here, it came off. And then what ends up happening is this whole thing just starts kind of falling apart. I was really disappointed in that. I think the cables could be better. But you know, ribbon cables are ribbon cables, man. No matter who does them, there's always that concern that something's going to get ruined. And I would say that on the other pair, I'm going to have to replace those anyway. I'm going to leave this here and see if I can reconnect this. All right, so we have this, our cable here from our input, from our power input here, goes into the bottom of the board here. So I'm going to take my tweezers and just kind of see if I can wiggle this out a little bit and just kind of grab it and just see if I can get that pulled out. Okay, and then from there I'm just going to go ahead and remove this. So there's 2 screws here. Make sure you get both. Hey, hold on. My mom's calling. Hey, Mom, I'm doing a video real quick. Let me call you right back. Okay, I don't know where she went. Okay, and then now you have to get this out, you do have to take this board off. I was just taking the screws off of there first. Okay, she didn't hear me. Babe, you want to tell her I'm doing a video? Like, just text her or something?
Yeah, I will.
Please. Okay, so we're going to take these 2 screws, and we'll set these aside, because those go for the main board that we're taking off here. All right. Let me put that here. And then once I can move this, I can pop this board out from underneath. All right, there we go. And then you're going to end up with the power button somewhere in there. So there's your power button. Put that here. Put this and this in a bag. With these screws here, there's 2 of them. All right. Okay, so now we've got 3 bags so far. And I'm going to take these. Actually, I'll make a bag for this as well, because I need to keep everything consistent. So let me find my baggies here. Okay. So let's put our fan cover and the 4 screws that hold that in here. All right. Okay. Now, there are 2 ribbon cables that you have to be careful of, okay? You have a ribbon cable on the bottom here that attaches to the OLED, and you have another one here that attaches onto your audio input and output sources. And I'll try to see if you can see that. It's a very tight fit on this one. So I'm going to try, there you go. That one comes off without any problem. And this one should come off also without any problem. You see? Okay. Okay, so this one's off now. And this is the piece where I said the metal is has come off, right? So you can see right here on this cable that it's gone. It's here, but it's not here. I'm going to put this under the microscope, and I'm going to see if that has damaged any part of this ribbon. And this is going to be the front camera, so I'll put that over here also. So let me go ahead and I'll get this computer up and running, and you guys can see what I see. So bear with me a second. All right, so let's open our camera. Let's get our microscope plugged in. All right, there we go. And I'll share this screen with you guys as well. Okay, so let's look at the cable right now. Let's zoom. All right, so this is the cable as it stands, that metal, and you can see now there's a pin that appears to be damaged now because that came off. So it looks like we might be totally screwed at this point, be able to do any more work, and you can see it is right here. Now, what I can't tell you is, let me see if I can figure this out. Let me look at the other side. Well, no, that pretty much does it. That piece is stuck in, I mean, it came out. That's pretty terrible. So that sucks. I mean, so this most likely is the problem, but now we've got another problem on the OLED side. God darn it. I mean, you know, guys, if you know this stuff's coming off, do something about it. Look at this one. I mean, again, the piece comes off, and then this is stuck inside. I mean, this is, it's just a weak ribbon. Now, the problem I have is that here's the OLED board, okay? And it's sitting right in here. I mean, this isn't going to help me at all. So, I'm going to, I mean, I can't do anything. I just got to try to get this out now. That's the problem. And I don't know how I'm going to be able to do that. So we're going to try our best. I mean, this piece is already toast. I just don't want to ruin the OLED board now. Let me see how we're going to get this out. Okay, now if we can do this without ruining the OLED board. Okay, so far, that's okay, I think. I think we're all right. We just need to get those pins exposed. This is a mess.
Come here, please.
Hey Sam,
Yeah.
how many more threes do we have?
What do we?
Okay, can you bring me a couple, please?
Yeah.
There's no way I can do this. I mean, this is impossible. So we're now down one OLED board. I mean, this is ridiculous. Well, actually, we may not be down the board. Sorry, I may have misspoken there. And I know I pulled that off camera, but we may not be down the board. We've just got a bunch of this crap stuck in here that we need to get out. This is the big problem. So now I need an X-Acto knife or something. Let me go grab one real quick. Look at that. There we go. I think that may have cleaned it up. It looks like it did. It looks like we got all the pieces out. I don't know yet. Now, it looks like there's something here. So I've got to check this one now. What is this? There we go. Make sure that is not.
Here's two.
See? Thanks, babe. I mean, this is one of the things that, let me see if I can just, this is one of the things that really concerns me is, you know, the cable that's in here is kinked so tight that they've got to come up with an option to include some cables or do something, because this is not, for it to separate like that, this really sucks. It's not cool for the person that owns them. So now I'm going to try to clean this out. And I know that's going to go off camera a little bit, but I've just got to do my best. All right, so that looks good there, I think. I can't tell if there's debris here or not. It looks like there is, so I need to try to get this out. Yep. Let me get an air can. I think if I spray it with a little bit of air, it might work. Hold on 1 second. I gotta get this can on here properly. All right, hold on, guys. I'm just trying to get this air can out here. Now this nozzle pulled off, so here we go. Still looks like there's something right here. Let me see. I'm gonna lower the microscope here, so give me a second. It's gonna get blurry, but then we'll go ahead and see. Okay, it looks like we still have some debris right here. Here we go, so that's out. And then maybe even right here. I saw it move. See if I get these tweezers to grab it. No. It's right here. It's joining these two pieces together, so we need that out. Holy crap. All right.
Did Julio already get his stuff?
The batteries and things?
I didn't check to see what it was. I just saw he had an order.
Yeah, I think he picked it up when he was here.
Okay.
All right. Still got that one piece left to get out.
It was a battery charger. A Q8?
No.
Okay.
Julio Rodriguez?
Yeah.
No, He's not got it. Come on. I'll try to turn this a different way. Maybe I can get a better angle at it. Okay, I see it right here. Come on. Sorry, I'm trying to adjust the light here. It's moving the camera all over the place, so bear with me a second. See if I can adjust the brightness. Alright, so I'm going to get something even smaller than that. It's going to have to be, I'm going to try a push pin. Need a tip, if I can use that. Now, if I had some like silly putty or something, I'd probably have this done by now, but I don't have any to grab this. No, it's not working out. God darn it. There we go. All right. So we've got the cable free and clear, and it looks like we're okay to plug something in again. You know, I'm curious, and I'm curious of some of these markings here. Like here, right, we have a piece taken. It looks like it's kind of dented in, or a piece of the plastic damage. And then here it looks like we almost have the same thing, although I'm not really sure if this is any importance at all since the solder points are fine. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to open a new pair and try to find the ribbon in there and take it out, knowing that this could turn into a complete mess. I mean, this is really ridiculous. So let's get ready for that. And then we'll talk to Skyzone about what the heck we're going to do next because of all this crap. But let's see. Let's just see. So we've got these cables, and they're all they all have seem to have the same problem. It's two glasses. One's my set and one's a customer set, and both of them have a damaged ribbon. And I guess the thing is I won't say that it's obviously when the factory puts it in. I mean, the goggles came on. We both had them, and they came on fine. So it didn't come like cable damage. But the minute the cameras quit working, and you try to get to that cable, that metal piece. On mine it took twice for it to happen. On the customers, it happened on the first run. So I'm going to open a brand new pair now. We're going to give it a go and see what happens. And if anybody wants a pair of Skyzone goggles that are open box, once I'm done with these, you'll get a good discount, I suppose. Or else I'll just have a second pair. It's no big deal. Oh, these are blue. All right, so these are the blue set. And we're going to do the same thing. Now you're going to see it open from the very beginning. So here we go. First thing we're going to do, we're going to take off the faceplate. Okay. Then we're going to remove the band. Hey babe,
Yeah.
when you get time, can I have a couple of those this size Ziplocs? Thank you. I'm going to set my stuff over here, and we're going to put these. This go with this one, the Ziploc here. Thanks, man. All right. And I'll put that right under here. All right. Okay, so here we go. You guys we're gonna get started from the beginning here. So we'll take off the fan. Need to charge the screwdriver. It's not gripping. There's no power anymore. All right. All right, so let's start keeping track. Again, be careful of this fan, man. This fan, I would probably, the first time you take it out, I would probably hot glue those ends. And I may do that. I will do that before I put this one back in, because if you move it twice, you're probably going to break it. All right, so be very careful to just pull this out. And I would just most likely hot glue right there. As a matter of fact, I'm going to turn the hot glue gun on, and I'm going to get ready to do that as soon as I have the chance. As soon as that glue gun is hot enough, but we'll just put these in here for now. All right, now we take off the frame screws. There's 3 of them. I need to change this bit out, I think. Let's see. Something like this, but then for the smaller screws we'll use the other one, so I'll leave that out. If you guys want any kind of screwdrivers like these, man, I'm going to tell you right now, these are awesome. This is a Xiaomi setup, and I'm very happy. Oh, now of course I need the longer one for that. Wonderful. So I'm going to put this in here, because these are way down in here. Alright, so we'll take these screws and put them in a bag. There you go. All right, now it's time to take the case off. So we'll try that prop again. There you go. It's pretty simple, I mean, pretty easy with the props. Look at that, see? No credit card needed. All right, once you remove that, obviously you get your buttons. We'll lay those here like we did the last one. Okay, put this aside in the box. Okay, so now we're gonna get started with this, and I don't know, let me see if this tip works here. Yep, what is this, a tweet? Donald Trump's tweet, okay. And let me see this one. Let me see which one's gonna be better. I think this one might actually be better. All right, so there's 1, 2, and 3. I'm gonna take this off. There we go. Okay, so now we're getting down to here, and we're basically at the same point as before. So let me now get, where's that bit that we just had? I gotta find where I put it, so hold on 1 second. Well, I know, we'll just go back to this one then. It's here, I know, but I don't know where I put it. So I don't have time to really stop and find it, so let's just go ahead. This one will be fine. Remember, you get 2 bigger screws here, and then there's a repeat of these screws that hold down the lenses here. So, all right, so now we're down to where we're at this cable point, okay? So just like before, we've got the cable here, we've got the other cable there, and we need to get these removed, right? So let's see how we're gonna do that this time around. Okay, first thing is I'm going to go ahead and remove the power cable from here. So there we go. All right, we've got our camera here, and this is going to end up coming off. So you'll see this kind of lift up in a little bit. So because here's our camera right here. As a matter of fact, I'm going to see if I can just kind of get that to come out. Now, I just want to gently, I just want to wiggle it because it's going to come up. Well, I'll wait then. Let me just wait a minute. My focus is going to be on these ribbons. So here's the ribbons here, and then the first one I want to do, what I want to deal with, is there's a screw under here, so I cannot get to that until I take this ribbon off. And I want to make sure that we take it off properly. So I'm going to just use the end of the, there we go, end of the tweezers there, and just kind of poke it like you would a fingernail, just, you know, like kind of scrape it off there. And now on this side, we have our ribbon for our camera right here, which I did not remove the ribbon last time. I just kept the camera with it. But here's the ribbon that we're having an issue with. And I'm just going to move this out of the way a little bit. Let me see if I can get this up. Hold on a second. There we go. Okay, so there goes this piece, because we know this is going to come out. And that's just your little frame for the camera, right? So I'm going to move the camera out of the way. Here is the ribbon that we're talking about right here, right underneath. If you can see that right there, right? Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do the same thing. And I'm just going to get under it. I'm just going to lift it up gently. There we go. There's our board. There's our ribbon. Here's the other piece. Okay, so there we go. Now, I'm going to take this ribbon and put it on. I'm going to take this entire setup and put it on my goggles first and see if we have a serious amount of damage or not. All right, so let's just pop this on. I will take very good care here to make sure I get this on right. So let me put on my, I had these here yesterday when I was doing this. Let me put these on, line this up properly. That's snapped in. I'm not going to change, oops, I realize now what I did. I just put it on facing me. Just go on the other way. Let me turn this around, sorry. So I'm going to put this on, and then I'm not going to modify any part of it or do anything else. I'm just going to plug this in Let me just make sure I get this back on. There we go. It should be lined up. Right there. Okay, so that's now plugged in. All right, now I don't want to do anything else here. I mean, I'm not worried about anything else at this point. I don't need to put, I'm not going to put this ribbon back in. What I want to do right now is I just want to plug in my original equipment like this, and I want to see if we can get anything to light up. So this is my power adapter here. Now I'm not going to put this back in. I'm not going to screw it down right now. I just want to see it work. I want to know if we're okay first. Let me see. I need to make sure I get my, yeah, okay. And then if I can get it to come on like this, then what I'll do is I'll plug in, I'll replace this board with mine and make sure my board is still good. So let me leave that. Now I don't know, this is, I'll be honest with you, I do not know if I have to have all the ribbons plugged back in. So I'm going to try to do this with as minimal as possible. All right, let me put this back in here. Okay, I'm going to keep this for now though. So here goes this ribbon. All right, with just the minimum set, I need to get this out of here real quick. So let me fold this over. I don't want this. I don't know if I have to have this part. Actually, you know what I'll do is I'll put a bag right under it. There we go, like that. So there's no contact made once there's power, okay? All right, guys, so with that done, I'm just gonna plug it in now and see if we can get power as it stands right now. All right, so where is my cable? Here it is. And we have one side working. We have the left side, not the right side. So we'll have to figure out now what's up with the right side. So let me unplug. So at least we know that partially there is a fix already, and that it, now I'm going to plug everything else in now, and I've got to try to figure out if that part that's not lighting up is because of the damage on the board or not, on the OLED board. We'll just have to see. So let me go ahead now and let me verify here first everything else is plugged in properly. Okay. And it is, I mean, everything is set properly and plugged in. So I'm going to just plug this one in kind of temporarily. I don't think this is going to have any bearing on what happens here, but I do want to plug it in just in case. Try to get my hands a little more steady, I guess. There we go. Okay, and again, looking at this, everything is connected properly here. Again, I only had one light work. Now, it could very well be my connection here. So let me verify here. Now this, you have to use your fingernail again to flip this up. Let me just verify that this ribbon is in properly. Okay, that's up, so let me look at this ribbon. Okay. Yeah, that's in good. All right, that's snapped back down. So I'm going to separate that ribbon down here again. I don't think that's going to have any effect on it, but let me just see. Now, if we still have only one lens. Yep, I still only have the left lens here. So, yeah, we have nothing on the right. All right, so let me go ahead and power this down and now see what else we can look at to see if the right one's going to work. So I will go ahead, turn this around. I'm going to pop this back up. try to figure out now. Okay, we've got our cable. Everything here is fine. I'm wondering if it's the OLED now. The OLED board, just let me check.
Good girl.
OLED board looks good. Everything else here looks good. I mean, honestly, everything's connected just fine. I'm checking just right here real quickly. Make sure we have a good connection here, and we do. The OLED board looks good. I don't see any problems there. Let me put it under the microscope here and just verify. So, 1 second. Okay. And everything here looks good. I'll try to, I'll just back up here real quick. There we go. And that looks good. I don't see anything physically that would tell me there's a problem, but let me go ahead now and put the board back on. And this time what we'll do is we'll just plug in all the cables and see where we sit with this, okay? So first thing we're gonna do, we'll turn this the same way. Now this is the tricky part, is getting this piece back in. This ribbon is the hardest one of all of them to get, so let me just see if I can kind of set this in here a little bit, so I don't have to move too much. I'm gonna put this piece back in. It should be getting in there pretty good. I didn't put the power button in though, but that's fine. I don't think this is gonna be a done deal anyway. I gotta put these back in the new goggles. Then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and plug in my cable here. As soon as I get it lined up. It's a little bit tricky to get this one lined up.
Oh my gosh.
Let me,
There's another Julio. Exact same name.
actually I'm gonna take this out. To make this easier, I'm just gonna take this out and I can just tilt this up, I think. I should be okay to try to get this back in. It's a little bit of a stretch, but let's see. I'm trying to do it. It's harder to do. It's easy when you're not on camera. It's harder to do when you're having to make sure everybody can see. So and I got dogs barking beside me. Hey, hush.
Come on, let's go inside.
Let me get these.
Come on.
I can't see.
Come on. On time now.
There we go. All right, with that cable in, now I'm just going to make sure I get our cable here, our ribbon cable in here properly. So let me get this camera out of the way for a second. Let's line this up. That's in. And that pretty much does it. We put our camera back down. Now I'm not going to do anything else because I don't want to put this as permanent because I still have to find out, still have to put the equipment back in the original camera. But I am just going to kind of put everything out of the way so I can fasten it properly. So let me do that. Okay. All right, everything is now plugged in, somewhat normal. So now we're going to go ahead and just put in our power down here. All right. All right. It's kind of awkward because it was better when it wasn't in like that. And there we go. All right. Good news is we do have now both. So that is a must, that this must be put in. And that is something that I just learned now. So we do have to have this side in with the cap, and that's working perfect. Now I've got both lenses working great. All right. So I did not realize you have to have that. That's why I only had one lens working. So there's nothing wrong with the OLED board on here. Now what we have to do, and this is where it gets a little tricky, is I've got to now, well, I can't. See, they've taped this one closed. And so I don't have a way without doing that. I've got to test this power board. All right, this is the important part. Because I need to know if it's just a ribbon or if it's the ribbon of the board. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to disconnect this ribbon again. I hate to do this, but I have to. I'm going to disconnect this ribbon carefully. There we go. I'm going to disconnect this one carefully. All right. And that should, once I remove this power. Okay, good. So here's my goggles, and what we know is everything else on the system is good. Everything. So I'm going to set these aside. Knowing that my goggles are good, well, they're good. Now we need to test the board. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to take this. Look at something here. I meant to look at something earlier, the date of production of this board. Yeah, that's right. Okay. I don't like how they do this because it's almost destined to break if I do it this way. So I'm trying my best not to. All right, this is the new goggle board, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this onto my board. I'm carefully getting this off. Come on. There we go. We're going to transfer it over and tape it down to my board right here, just like they did. You might go this way. Okay, that's on there. We're going to take their tape. I've got this tape if I need to get a new one, but I think this is still pretty sticky, and it is. We're going to leave that there. Okay, I'm going to put the new board back. Oh, I need my parts though, so I'm going to take. Fingernails right in there. I'm going to take this one here. This one here, and I'm going to put this back with the new goggles that we just opened. All right, so now it's time to try this again. All right, and so we're going to take my goggles here. We know the OLED is good. We're going to go ahead and just plug this cable in before we do anything else. And I'll do it this way. Hopefully you guys can see it, but this is the easiest way to do it. Just kind of put it on its side and line it up. Watch now, it's going to give me a hard time, but I think we'll be all right. There you go. That's in. That was easy. It's much easier when you lay it outside. If you're trying to get so the camera can see it, it makes it a little more difficult. All right, once that's in, we're going to go ahead and put this piece in now, just like we did before. Make sure it's lined up right. You don't want to just drag it across. Just make sure you've got it where it needs to be. It should pop right in just like that. Okay, got the camera. I want to see how they did. Yeah, so they had to go in like this. All right, now I'm not going to do this permanently because I do not know if this is going to work or not with my board. So I think hopefully I can get away with just plugging this in and testing it, not having to do anything else at this point. So let's go ahead and just give it some power here. Now I don't know if you have to plug in the two small ones, but let's just see. And it doesn't look like I have anything. Wait, the power didn't come on, sorry. And we do have it. There you go. So this is great news, guys. So we have a bad cable on ours, okay, which is causing the problem. So we need to have Skyzone send us a cable. That's great news. We're real happy about that. So I'm going to close this up now. So you'll see me. Actually, I can't close it up yet because I still have my customers that we have to look at and find out if that's the problem with his. Okay, so again, we are going to remove this clip gently, carefully. Okay, and we're going to remove the one on this side. Good news is we know we don't have to keep plugging in the small sides with the controllers and the input menu options and all that. All right, and we're going to take the power out. Now, this is my old board with a new ribbon cable, so we know that's what that needs. Here is the customer setup, and what we're going to do here is the first thing we're going to do is we're going to plug this in. Again, be careful, take your time. Put this in the right spot. You don't want to drag these because you'll break them. And the pins will start ripping out. And if you push it and it doesn't seem to fit in there properly, then just try to take it back off and then guide it again. Let's see. This one's giving me a little bit of a hard time. Let me make sure everything on this ribbon is good. Yeah, it looks okay. All right, let's try this again. Just concentrate a little bit. Cannot get this lined up. Hold on. There we go. All right, now that that's on, I'm going to go ahead, pop in this ribbon like we have been doing. That's in there good. So at this point, guys, if I plug this power cable in, I should be able to get this to work. Okay, I should. Now let me make sure everything's on, everything's good, and it does. Let's cross our fingers and hope that that'll settle it. And there you go. We've got video. All right, so that's that board. Now we have the dilemma again. This is where it sucks really bad. But I have got to now disconnect this board. God, I hate doing this. Disconnect the power. Okay. Well, wait a minute. Hold on. Maybe not. Hold on a second. I need to check his board. Give me 1 sec, guys. I just gotta look at something here. Okay. Let me clean his board up real quickly. I'll show you what I'm working on here, because it dawned on me now that because of this, we're having the same problem, right? You remember all that debris that was in the other one? So when these cables go to crap, they leave a bunch of leftover stuff here. So we've got to clean this up before we try to do that. Let's see if I can get this. There we go. So that's the pin. Let's see if I can get that. It's ridiculous. this lens. It's gonna get a little blurry for just a second. Let me lower this lens. All right. That's a whole heap of mess right there. My concern is that this actually might not. I believe this is a damaged piece entirely, and not something that can be cleaned up, but we're going to see. I think this one is just a bad, this actually has a bad board here, so. I think that we've got a different issue on here, is that we have a board that's actually damaged here. And I'm trying to verify that that's it, and that there's not, see, once you move this stuff around, yeah, so this one is actually a damaged board. So we'll need a new main board here. So that's going to be different. So let me just transfer, well, if that's the case, then we can actually just leave it like this. So I'm going to close this one up for the customer and deal with that. And we'll have to get Skyzone on that board. All right, so let's go ahead and close this up. There we go. Oh, you know what though? There's a couple things. This is a temporary build also, so hang tight a second. I need to, there's a couple things I do need to do first. And I'll show you that in just a second here. So let me pop that up. And what I'd like to do is, without doing too much, I'm going to turn that just like that, because I want to take this OLED board off real quickly. I think I need to get to the 3 screws that I need to get to. I'm pretty sure I have to take that off, so let me go do that real quick. 1, 2, 3. I just need the board to get a little bit out of my way, because right behind this, maybe I'll just pop one of these off. Right behind, under here, are the 3 screws that hold. There we go. So I just want to take this. There we go. I'll fold this over. I'll put these 2 in. Right here. One. There's 2. Now let me turn it around and make sure everything looks good. That's right. So now I'm going to flip this back down. Put our mounting screws back in, just so we can hold it in place while we close it up. Put our one connector back on. Let's get that ready. There we go. Close this back down. Perfect. Okay, so we got our ribbons in. Now we're going to go ahead and put our clip back in here. There we go. That's in perfect. We got our other ribbon in with no problem, so we're good there. Go ahead and just press the button of this just back up to make sure it's fastened good, and it is. All right, so at that point, we're going to go ahead now and start putting the system back together, and this customer is going to end up back with his goggles again, okay? So let's get our screw set up. All right. Make sure everything else is good. Yeah, it is. You know what? I want to put this camera lens in first. It's going to be kind of tricky if you put it in, if you screw this down first. So let me go ahead and get this camera put on. Okay, camera's back in. Hold on. Put this underneath here like this. It'll make it easier. So I'm just going to go ahead and bolt this down real quick. Make sure these wires are out of the way. This will make it easier to get everything attached back properly. Battery's running out. You better charge this thing. You can tell it's grinding slowly. Okay, so everything so far is good. Everything looks like it's set. All right, now need to go ahead and we are going to pull this ribbon back up here just a little bit so we can put this power cable under here. We can plug that in, but we need to get this out of the way. So let's go ahead and plug this in right here. There we go. That's in, that's good. All right, full movement. Everything else looks good. So we're ready to start completing this, put back together, and I'm gonna put all my pieces away here real quickly. So let's get that going. I guess I'll do one last test now before I close it up for good. I wanna make sure that everything's functioning. So let's go ahead and hit power. And we've got video. There we go, just like that. You can see that on the camera. Excellent. And I believe we'll have our menu options pop up here shortly. Yep, there it is. Okay, so let me unplug this. Let's finish closing this up. And this one will go back to our customer. Let me do something here though real quickly. I've got his pieces here. And let's see what else. I'll be right back, guys. Give me 1 second. Okay. Get something to wipe these with. All right, let's get back to business now. This is the board we need to replace. Here's the rest of the setup. Make sure I got everything else right. This is in and power button, camera, the whole thing, okay. Go. Perfect. Let's go ahead now and close this up. We'll be good to go. Hey babe,
Yes, sir.
in that you have those silver fans down there for the Skyzone, remember? Can you hold on, I gotta get this lined up properly. Can you tell me, is the fan included or is that just a fan cover?
Fan cover.
Wonderful. There we go. Okay, so that's good. Let's get this last one. There we go. All right, everything's looking good there. I'm just gonna something about this one. I need to see this one. Let's see. So now, what we're going to do is everything else is closed up. I'm going to take the fan. I know I just said I was going to heat this up and glue that fan, so I'm going to do that real quick. I do want to look at the other fans though and try to understand here where the solder points are on these and why it's so bad. And I think I see it, so let me just do a repair right now, because I like to at least not just throw in the towel here and just say, oh, this part sucks. I'm going to try to pull back this sticker just a little bit. There we go. Let's turn on the solder iron. I think they probably could have used a little bit more solder here and then done something to protect the wire. I mean, it's kind of an obvious here that this is not done so that you can take it out. So we're just going to try to fix this up, and then a little, you know, just a little hot glue would have been the solution. I mean, my gosh, it takes 2 seconds and 2 pennies worth of equipment, and you'll be done. So let me go ahead and just see if I can get this, clean the solder and take real quick. See if I can get this done. Okay, now I need this to not move. I get this to sit still for just a second. I think if I can get that right there, we might be okay. Let's see. Oh, actually. Very carefully going to try this. There you go. All right, let's see if we got the fan working. We may, hopefully we did, but if not, ready, and there it goes. Fan's working. Perfect. So we got that fixed. A little bit of solder, a little bit of effort. Now I'm going to go ahead and just protect all these wires by putting in a nice drop. Oh, I'm out. Some more. Good. Put that in there. Lay the wires down properly. There you go. That way we don't have to wait. Take all the strings out. Tuck the wire in nicely underneath. Let's test it again, make sure it holds. Okay. There we go. Yep, we got airflow. Perfect. So now we'll just take the cover Holy cow, like it never really happened. There you go. What do you think, babe?
Nice job.
All back together, everything's functioning.
Looks good.
It looks so good, very marvelous. All right, so now we got a messy desk to clean up. Let's clean that up. All right, wrapping this up now. So here we go. Let's see. Okay. Put these here. Put some screws in here. All right. So I think at this point, yep, that's right. That's right. That one's right, and this one. We're waiting. Let's go with this. Put that in here. Okay, so with that done, now we're gonna go grab the customer's other stuff. Now, I remember this customer, their faceplate had been cracked already. So when you see this, just understand that that's not how we did it. It is how it came to us. I assume when he pulled it off the first time, he may have snapped it. It looks like there's maybe some super glue or something down here to try to hold it back in place. But either case, I'm just gonna go ahead and pop this on. Well, actually, let me put the strap in first here. Okay. There we go. There we go. Okay, so there's that. So it goes like this. Fold these in. Actually, let me run this through a full test real quick, make sure everything's good now. So we're gonna. Okay. Yeah, that works. Let's go to go. Okay, front camera works. Everything else looks good. All right, these are good to go. We're gonna box these up, and that's the end of that, guys. So there you go. That is, we have 2 sets to troubleshoot. One, both of them are bad ribbons. One is also has a bad board. Unfortunately, it took us to open a new pair, so that kind of sucks. But we're gonna reach out to Skyzone and ask them to please assist in getting this taken care of. Now let's try to fit all this in here. Good luck. I don't think it's gonna go, but nah. I'll put these in like this, and that's it. Okay. Got a lot to clean up here. We've got this bad board, guys. But hey, other than that, everything went good. Very happy to see that we finally found the problem here. So that pretty much does it. All right, so we've got, these are the 03Os, or 03s, whatever you want to call them. You know, it's just an issue with the cable, and we were able to find it and get it fixed. Now we've just got to, like I said, contact Skyzone and see if we can get them to help us by getting a couple of these parts and keeping in stock so that we can help our customers instead of having to send them somewhere else. All right. If you have any questions, guys, as always, please go to our Facebook group now and start posting your questions there. That'll help us. There's a lot of people there waiting to stand by and answer questions for you if you need any help. And as always, please follow us on Facebook and then subscribe to our YouTube channel. All that support really helps. It's an hour and 17 minutes of doing these goggles. Now, I still have another one to repair, but I'm not going to hold you hostage for that. Have a great weekend, guys. It is Friday. I can see my boys today at 6 o'clock, and tomorrow is my 8-year-old's birthday. He turns 9. Jaden, happy early birthday. We're going to see you tomorrow. We got some fun stuff lined up for you. All right, guys. Peace, God bless, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye.